Here's one last example. We're going to look at this example where 80% of the patrons at a restaurant request water with their meals, and we're looking at 7 customers. So again, you can see right over here we have P is equal to 0.8 and N is equal to 7. So right away when we see a P and an N, we're going to say, oh, that looks like it's binomial. B is binary. Either you request water or you don't. Independence, we're picking a small sample from a large population, so each person is independent from another. We have a fixed number of trials because we're looking at 7 customers, and our probability success remains the same. Every person has an 80% chance of picking water. So which statement below describes the correct distribution? Well, we just went through it and we said that X follows a binomial distribution, and our 2 parameters that describe it are N and P, and N is equal to 7, P is 0.8. So we have our first option over here for the binomial distribution. So with that, we can now find the probability that at least 5 of the 7 customers, so if we write down all of our choices over here, at least 5 means 5, 6, or 7. So we are looking for the probability that X is greater or equal to 5, and then we can go to our online calculator on StatCrunch. So going to Stat Calculator Binomial, we'll bring up our binomial calculator. We had 7 customers. We had our probability of success is 0.8, and we are looking for at least, so that's greater or equal to all right, I have this in the way, greater or equal to 5 gives us a probability of 0.852. Now, if we did this on a TI-84, we would actually have to look at the complement over here, and we would do 1 minus the probability that X is less or equal to 4, which is 1 minus the binomial CDF, with N equals 7, P equals 0.8, and the largest one is 4 over here. But we've been looking mostly at StatCrunch. Now, when we have just a small sample size, you know, our rule of thumb, our N times P would be equal to 5.6, and our N times Q would be equal to 1.4. So these are not at least 10, so therefore we cannot use the normal approximation. So very careful when we're looking at this. But suppose we take a larger random sample of 119 customers. So now our story is very different. What are the mean and standard deviation of the number that request a water with their meal? So let's calculate. Again, same scenario. We have a binomial distribution. The only thing that changes is now we have 119. Our P is still equal to 0.8. So we're going to multiply N times P in order to get the mean. So that's 119 times 0.8, which is 95.2. And this time our, looking at the N times Q, that would be 119 times 0.2 would be 23.8. So this time we can use the normal approximation. For finding the standard deviation, we're going to do N times P times Q, which is the square root of 119 times 0.8 times 0.2, which is a standard deviation of 4.36. So now, since both our expected number of successes and our expected number of failures is at least 10, we can say that X follows an approximately normal distribution with mean equal to 95.2 and standard deviation 4.36. So we can use that in order to find the probability for our last part. And it says using the mean and the standard deviation from above, what's the probability that at most 10, so again, or most 100, and at most 100 would be just from 0 to 100, including 100. So that would be x is less or equal to 100. And we can do this with or without continuity correction. So we're just going to use that normal approximation. We're going to use our normal calculator. So that would be the normal CDF going from -infinity to 100, and then using the 95.2 and the 4.36. So we're going to go to the online calculator on StatCrunch for this. So in our normal calculator, if we put in a mean of 95.2 and a standard deviation of 4.36, and we're looking for less or equal to 100, we end up with a probability of 0.8645. And if we wanted to make it just a little bit bigger, if we would want to include that continuity correction, so just remember, you know, to change it from a discrete to a continuous, the continuous curve only looks about at half of 100. So if we want to increase it to make it a better estimate, where you would go up to 100.5, and that would be a probability of 0.8879. So let's put those over here. So we have the probability of first probability was 0.8645, and again with continuity correction we would go up to 100.5. And everything else stays the same. And we end up with a probability of 0.8879. And if we wanted to find the exact probability, we can use our binomial calculator with n of 119, probability of success of 0.8, looking for at most 100, so less or equal to 100, and we end up with a probability of 0.8902, which is the exact probability.